During the 92 riots, I remember looking at visuals of Koreans on top of the roof of their businesses carrying large pow-pows. I was like, wow, the nerve. You are ready and willing to take someone's life over an inanimate object, something that products, food that can be replaced. I'm sure you have insurance. Your products that can be replaced. You was ready and willing to take somebody's life. But then I thought about the history of this country. They always put property over life. I'll be back. Hey everyone, thank you for showing up. Let's just jump into this. I appreciate you guys. Those who, let's go on. As I said, I was recalling what happened was, the reason why I did this video is because I was having a conversation with my loved one about how this has been documented, the toxic combustible relationship between Black Americans and Asian business owners inside our community. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. And I'm basically doing this videos for the new gen who don't really know the history. You're just seeing the results of a people who are just fed up. You know? Like I said in the short, if you saw it, the attitudes that you see now, it was worse in the 80s and 90s. And you saw the clips I put in. Korean business owners literally standing on their roof in Los Angeles during the riots, like ready to take aim and take somebody's soul.
Trying to protect their businesses from any contingency. Once again, I repeat, this is an unedited videotape, but we did manage to get hold of this tape to give you an idea of some of the individual actions that are being taken.
Just because they tried to take something that was material that could be replaced. And if you have a chance to look at old news clips of, I'm going to put some in this video, but if you had a chance to look at some other old news clips of them talking, they were called the Korean rooftops or Korean something. It was almost like the media was like praising them. You know why? You know why they were praising them. If that was a predominantly white community that this was happening in, and then they want to come and act like they don't do riots. They just don't talk about it.
Well, you may recall this one. 3 Marines attacked and stabbed in the street, and surf fans rioting. After a couple of very public and very ugly incidents, some city leaders in Huntington Beach are ready to lay down the law. KCAL 9 Stacey Butler is live tonight in Huntington Beach with more who they're targeting. Stacey.
Susie, one city council member told us tonight that big changes could be in the works for Huntington Beach, and he's urging other council members to take action before there's another melee.
We need to do something about it.
Councilmember Dave Sullivan has had it with what he calls inebriated visitors from Los Angeles and the Inland Empire, wreaking havoc in his city.
I'm afraid and concerned that Huntington Beach is getting the reputation as a place to come and raise hell.
Huntington Beach has long struggled to draw the line between partying and public safety, but frustrations boiled over less than 2 weeks ago after a stabbing left 3 Marines hospitalized and 1 woman injured. But it's not just the innocent Marines caught in the crowd crossfire. Last July, when the U.S. Open surfing event ended, crowds lit fires, toppled portable toilets, and damaged city vehicles. When police intervened, officers say some threw bottles and bricks at them. Residents are frustrated.
But if you do some research, you will see that these people will break out in a riot if one of their favorite sport teams don't win. Well, tear their city up. And in the rich neighborhoods too. Or the Hispanics. What was that, like 2-3 years ago? They was regularly having riots because They were at some game, LA Lakers basketball game, and they were down in downtown LA acting a fool. But then when we have a riot because we're tired of the injustices, they come online talking all kind of crazy, as if they're perfect. When Martin Luther King said, people riot when they feel like they don't have a voice or they're not heard. See, they love to quote Martin Luther King when the narrative fits whatever they're trying to pump and push out. And what's so crazy is that generation, who was there, the sleepers and the boomers coming up, sleepers hated Martin Luther King. They hated him with a passion because he was stirring up troubles, you know? As I said, I was having a discussion about the movies, a few movies that touched on this subject. Foreigners coming into our community, treating us like dog feces. And it's cool. They don't have a conscience. Like, literally, they're only able to do... Banks will not give them a loan to go into white communities. They'll give them a loan, if they do get a loan, to come into our communities. And then they complain, they bitch and complain about the crime and disrespect. Fool, why are you still putting your business in our community? It's not like we need you. It's not like our people before you didn't try, but they were disparaged because it was us. So you're not doing us a favor coming into our community with your nasty, disgusting attitude. We need to run you out. Legally, black folks, in the way you run these greedy people out, because it's all about money with them. Some of them even worship money. That's why they're so nasty and cold. That's why they have no problem picking up a pow and taking you out because they thought you took a bottle of water or juice. Juice and water is more valuable than you. And you know where they get that diabolical attitude from. The ones who say, you ain't bringing this out here in my neighborhood, but you can go over there to the nigresses. I saw a video on TikTok. The guy was like, I'm trying to tell y'all, if we don't retaliate, they're not going to stop. He didn't go into details about what he meant, about retaliation, about retaliating. I assumed I knew what he meant. But that would be a whole different ball game. Yeah, let's go on. The two movies that came to mind that spoke or pointed out the issues with foreigners coming into our community, because it's not just the Asians, but are people who don't look like us coming into our communities with nasty attitudes, or their businesses were in the community and the demographics changed, because some people love to flee, and they didn't adjust their attitudes, but they're getting their money from us. I think Do the Right Thing, Sal, he had a pizza joint in a predominantly black community, but I believe when he established his joint or pizza joint, it was an Italian community. Let me play a little bit of this and give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
Hey, Sal, I'm looking for the wall here. You want brothers on the wall?
Love.
Get your own place. You can do what you want to do.
What I tell you about that noise? What I tell you about that bitch? Competition to boycott Sal's famous pizzeria? Hear me, what you ought to do is boycott that no-good barber that messed up your head. And that's the double truth. Rule up the power. Who told you to step on my sneakers? Who told you to walk on my side of the block? Who told you to be in my neighborhood? I own this brownstone. Who told you to buy a brownstone on my block, in my neighborhood, on my side of the street? I can't even hear my...
So you see, he asked Sal, what's up? Why you don't have no brothers on the wall? Sal was like, get your own place and put some brothers on the wall. And I felt that since the demographics in the neighborhood changed and he was getting his money from us and he was able to pay his loan, he was able to take care of the overhead on his business from the money that we gave to him. It would have been respectful to put some black notable people on the wall. What would have been the harm? I felt that him refusing to do that was blatant disrespect. Some can say, well, why is it disrespect? Well, I feel like this. If I go into a community, you know what? No, I wouldn't do it. I'll be real with you. I don't care what community I'm in. I'm going to put pictures on the wall that I want in my business. And somebody can be like, well, that sounds like double standards. You can call it whatever the hell you want to. Considering how people make money off of us, buku, dough off of us, you should cater to us. That's how I feel. Then the other clip I'm going to show is how the movie makers of Menace to Society chose to touch on this topic.
You ain't gotta be creeping. I don't know why you trying to act like you cleaning up. Damn, I always think we're gonna steal something. Oh, no, wait. Oh, man, I'm from the old school, brother. Gee.
You not to drink beer in store.
Hey, man, I'ma pay you. Hey, look, bitch, stop following me around this motherfucker. You getting on my nerves.
Yes, pay and leave.
Nerves. Damn.
Hurry up and go.
Somebody could come in and be like, well, look at them. They were straight thugs. They were street. So I understand why they had that attitude. No, you're loud and wrong. Because a person could come in a school uniform, a work uniform, business attire. At that time, they could have been going in there carrying a briefcase. They still will be treated the same way. They still will follow them around the store. They don't do it as much as they used to, but back then, they would let you know, we think you're a crook, even though we're coming into their store to buy their products. Follow you around and watch you like a hound dog. Before I go any further, I would like to give you a quick update on the status of the boycott. The same boycott that people came online mocking us and daring us to do. Check this out.
Parking lot is empty. This ain't Asian hate. This is Black love, baby.
So this is what we mean about the boycott, and we need to start with these nail shops. What we mean is they're not leaving with a bunch of money at the end of the day because we then came and filled up their shops all day. That's what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, nobody's in there. Let's start boycotting them first, especially if you're in the IE.
If you're an Asian business owner who is offended or defensive, feeling some kind of way about this call to boycott Asian businesses by Black folks and by anyone who has a sliver of a conscience, really. If you are offended by it and feeling defensive, there's really simple fix to it. You could put a banner across your website that says you do not support bigotry, racism. You can literally do that with a couple of clicks. You could put a sign on the window if you have a brick and mortar business saying you do not sign up for the bigotry of Black people or anyone for that matter. Except that I know that a lot of you don't want to because you do support it, because you buy into the narrative that's been spoon-fed to you your whole life. And I'll make another video on that soon. But right now, I just thought I would offer up a simple...
Love when the Black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do.
No lie, y'all. People not playing about protesting right now. This hair store in New Orleans right now is empty. Cajuns, it just opened really at like 11, but nobody ain't over there.
Oh, yeah, check it out. I'm about to cook this bitch ass right here. But first, let me say this. Throughout the inner cities, the Black communities in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, there's roughly 300 Asian-owned businesses. These 300 Asian-owned businesses annually generate about $115 million a year. Okay, so they make a nice amount of money in the Black communities in Cleveland. And since y'all don't appreciate us across the country, and since you double dog dare us, since the people in your community ain't say keep your bitch ass mouth shut, so we gonna double down on that. I dare you to think that we not gonna boycott your businesses. Guess what? For the rest of the week, rest of the month, willfully, rest of the year, no shrimp fried rice with 3 wings fried extra hard. No Chinese, Mexican knockoff Jordans. Definitely ain't fucking with this clown right here who was exploiting niggas and selling niggas moissanite diamonds and shit. All them rappers running around with moissanite diamonds in their chains. And we definitely ain't fucking with Granny with the bundles. Granny could keep them bundles that she done snatched off some dogs and shit over there in China. And we definitely, if we get a stain in our shit, it's gonna stay in there. We not cleaning it at their goddamn laundry spots. And we definitely don't want none of that fentanyl lace liquor that they've been shipping over here and selling on the black market. And they be having in all these black clubs and shit, causing black men and women to fall out and shit and lose consciousness.
Stop going to these damn stores. Because when they kill us, 9 times out of 10, they get off.
Man, I couldn't imagine, bro, a motherfucker putting a bullet in my son back because they thought he was stealing a bottle of water.
And let's not pretend that Asian establishments would not be able to thrive the way that they are thriving if it wasn't for the business that black people give to them. Because we all know that in predominantly white communities, aside from the Chinese restaurants, white people would never allow a bunch of Asian establishments to come and infiltrate their area. Absolutely.
There you go, folks. You have to realize that when people are tired, they show you that they're tired. And I hope this is causing you guys or made you guys really rethink how you've been treating the main group who has been giving you their money. That is absolutely insane, ridiculous, and stupid as hell that you would disrespect the main demographic who kept money in your pocket and your bank accounts. You don't challenge the people who routinely boycotted to show this racist country that they were not playing with them. Let's continue. So it didn't matter how you came in. You could have came in looking like the characters in the movie, or you could have came in looking like you done just got off work. You are not trying to go into no establishment and steal. You have money. You just want to get you something before you go home. They still treated you the same way. So that's why it's so irritating when you hear people saying, well, why are you putting everybody in it? Everybody didn't do it. We asked you the same thing. We say the same thing to you. If you had an issue with one black man or black woman in your business, you take it out on all of us. So why doesn't it apply to you too? But it's okay when you put us in one. The hypocrisy is so annoying. How do you sleep at night? Well, it's almost like we can do it to you guys, but you can't do it to us. That seems like that's the mentality you guys have. But it's no different. Korean, Chinese, you guys did the same thing. And you've been doing it for decades. What happened to Cyrus wasn't new. What happened to Latasha Harlins wasn't new. Matter of fact, I was looking up other instances where Asian shot and unalived a black American person or a black person who went into their business and they presumed that they were stealing. I found something yesterday. It was a list of things that happened, but for some reason I can't find it again. I think I emailed it to myself, but you guys are aware of it. You are, and then matter of fact, this is what I later found out. I just found out about Rick. I don't know where I got Mike, but he was often brutalizing his customers. He thought a woman came in there and stole some kind of snacks and he got a thing with liquid beverages and water. Chased her out the store, snatched her purse, went inside her purse. She said she paid for it. And you know, some of those liquor stores don't give you receipts. He went into her bag, snatched the stuff out of her bag. I think they pulled out a gun or something, and then when they were driving off, he came out and shot at them 6 times. So this man was quick with the draws. He had no issue pulling out a pow and using it on people who went into his store to spend money. So this was an ongoing issue with this guy, and no charges are ever pressed against him. So that's why people are pissed, because this man was routinely doing these things, using fatal, violent force against people who went into his business. So with Menace to Society, the opening, as you guys saw, the opening liquor store scene in Menace to Society is widely recognized as a cinematic reflection of the real-world tensions and tragic events that plagued early 1990s Los Angeles, specifically the killing of Latasha Harlins. Most people living in central urban areas who patronized Korean businesses are Black Americans, or were Black Americans. Some Korean shop owners were viewed by inner city customers as exploiters who come to the city to make a profit on the people and then took the money elsewhere. That's what I said. What have they done since they've been in our communities for decades? What have they done to better it? You complain about the attitudes. You complain about the theft. What are you doing to better it? You don't hire our people. You go outside. You either hire your family or you hire Hispanics. Did y'all notice the clip that I played of the riots? Did you see that Hispanic dude on the roof with those Asians? Oh, they real tight when it comes to being against us. Here, Hector, look out with us. Sure. Had no problem. Was looking. I remember it was with some Black folks armed too. Like, oh, you gonna stand up on your roof? We got weapons too. I was out there briefly, but I had sense enough to go home because it was getting crazy. And I was like, I remember a white cop. I was at some establishment with a family member, and a white cop came in calling people animals. You know, they love to call people animals. I just looked at him, turned around, and went on about my business. Korean business people typically employ other Koreans, like I said, usually other family members to work in their shops. As a result, Koreans not only live outside the communities where their stores are located, but also hire few inhabitants. This led to complaints that Korean merchants did not hire Black employees, did not buy from Black suppliers of goods, and did not invest in the Black neighborhoods where they opened their businesses. And they would get in their luxury cars when it was time to leave and drive to their rich communities that they were able to afford because of our money. Although Black American shoppers have frequently viewed Koreans as outsiders and exploiters, Koreans have viewed those living in neighborhoods near their businesses with suspicion. Having little understanding of the history of U.S. racial inequality, Korean business owners may see low-income urban residents as irresponsible and untrustworthy. The high crime rates in these neighborhoods can lead them to see all members of the community, even the most honest, as potential shoplifters and robbers. See what I'm saying? See all members. Doesn't matter if it's your grandma, auntie, uncle. Doesn't matter if your auntie is a nurse. She just getting off work, tired. Worked 14, 16 hours and wanted a beverage and a bag of chips before she go home. They're going to look at her like she trying to come in there and strong arm them. That's what I'm saying. That's how they lump us all together. But they hate when it's done to them. And like I said in the short, if you guys have an issue with the crime in the area and you see us all as criminals, doesn't matter if we're professors, doctors, lawyers, teachers, blue collar workers, doesn't matter. Why are you in that community? You sound like a fool. Because I'm not going to put a business, or I'm not going to want to be in a community that I feel like every time I go in to open up my shop, that might be my last time. So who's the fool? No, you're trying to stigmatize us. You learned it from the racists. They wouldn't let you put your business in their community, but they sure showed you how to be prejudiced against us, and your dumb ass went along with it until they come after you. Then that's when you want to sing, "We Shall Overcome." Yeah, okay. The cultural gap between Black and Korean Americans who often own stores in Black neighborhoods has resulted in a number of well-publicized clashes. In the spring of 1990, Black Americans in Brooklyn began a 9-month boycott of Korean stores after a Korean greengrocer allegedly harassed a Black American shopper. In 92, tensions escalated in the same neighborhood when a Black American customer and a Korean grocer was allegedly harassed and struck by the owner and an employee. In 95, that ain't never stopped. I'm telling you, they was so... Do you guys remember what happened? Was it during COVID? Was it after or before? When a woman they locked her up in their business and was attacking her. And
Check my bag. I'm telling you, I don't have it.
What started as an owner's concern over a possible shoplifter quickly escalated into a physical altercation moments later.
Are you serious?
You see the owner of Misha Beauty, Sung Ho Lim, kick the woman, then take her to the ground and put her in a chokehold. Disturbed. Disgusting. This video has been circulating on social media. And on Sunday.
Okay. All right. I got to be careful what I say online. In 1995, a black American man was arrested while attempting to burn down a Korean-owned store, and both white and Korean store owners in Harlem received racial threats. California, home to the nation's greatest number of Korean businesses, yippee, has seen some of the most serious conflicts between Koreans and black Americans. In April of 92, a judge gave a sentence of probation to a Korean shopkeeper convicted in the shooting death of a 15-year-old black American girl, Latasha Harlins. The weeks after that, on April the 29th, riots broke out in South Central Los Angeles after the acquittal of police officers who had been videotaped beating a black American motorist, Rodney King. It didn't happen in South Central. I wish, if you guys gonna report, if you're going to put demographics and areas and cities and community names in your story, do some damn looking up. I'm going to get so tired of people calling all of Los Angeles South Central. It's South Central for a reason. The name South Central is for a reason. It was south of Central Avenue. What do you guys not get? Damn. The riot actually started a few blocks away from where I lived. And those of you who are familiar with Los Angeles, the riot started on Normandy and Florence. And I literally live maybe 5 minutes away from that area. And one of my homeboys who lived across the street from me went there. And when they first were going after Reginald, what's this guy in the truck? Me and my sister were going to go out there. But my mother talked us out of doing it, thank God. But one of my homeboys went out. I think he helped, it was other people finally came up and helped him, the white guy. So, yeah, I saw it all, and I know people were like, oh my God, they just attacked him for no reason. Do you guys not know the brutal history of this country? Oh, that's because it was so long ago, but no, it's not that long ago. So you could say, well, you're justifying what they did to that man who was coming home in his truck minding his own business. No, I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying it looks different when it's somebody who looked like you and it happens to them, right? But when it happens to one of my people, it's like, oh, it's just another day, right? That's how you feel when my people are attacked for no damn reason, especially by the police. It's just another day, right? So why you want me to be all up in arms when it's, you know what? Let me go on. Although none of the police officers was Korean grocers and liquor stores in South Central Los Angeles became targets of the riots. The riots destroyed more than 1,000 Korean businesses, and an estimated 2,300 Korean-owned businesses were looted. I'm telling y'all better get off us. And I'm saying this to everybody. Hispanics that got something to say, the Asians, the racists, the Indians. I'm trying to give y'all warnings. That's what I do in my videos. I'm telling y'all better get off us. Bag back. Stop taking us being slow collectively as a sign to keep pushing. Don't do it. Because what's been left back, that fury, that hurt, that anger and pain that came from our ancestors' suffering is still swirling around in the atmosphere. What do you guys not get? Everything is spiritual. Y'all trying to open a door that you guys will not be able to handle. And I don't think it's going to close up once it's open. Korean shop owners began leaving South Central Los Angeles in the years after the riots, those who remained became even more wary of the local population. However, the population of Korean shop owners in California and New York remained significant through the first decades of the 21st century. Y'all, I obviously wasn't that damn weary. You still here? I guess being here, dealing with how people feel about you because of how you treated them is better than going back to your countries, huh? You had to come back out. You had to come out to my country. All right, folks, I wasn't trying to make a long video. I was just those who are interested about the background history, about the history of Black Americans and Koreans and Asians and why we feel the way we feel. It's been an ongoing thing of being disrespected. And because they're in our community, it's not like they're outside of our community and we're driving or walking or catching a bus to their business. Even still, even if they weren't in our community, it's still not right. We're spending money. It's called customer service. Are you guys not civilized? You know, they're always saying we're not civilized. No, you're not civilized. If you're not smart enough to know that you don't demonize the people who kept you rich. That is what a fool would do. Or you take for granted, you take us for granted so bad, so much that you think you can continue to disrespect us and we're going to keep giving you our money. That's a fool. I'm not going to demonize the group of people who keep a roof over my head and then cry when they say, I've had enough of your ass. That's a fool. You should have read the signs. If we're going to repeatedly expose racists and continually come against them and what they try to do to us, what you think we're going to do to you? And you're an immigrant. You think we're going to give you a pass? I think it's time that I think you need to do yourself a favor. I really do. I really think it's time that you guys pack up and go back to your homelands where it's safe. Because what's about to break out in this land? And the way you think it's going to turn out, it's not going to turn out the way you guys suspect. It will. It's not. So either you guys going to be on the right side of things or you going to be on the wrong side of things. And that's going to be one of many warnings I'm going to give you guys until it happens. You can either heed it, you can laugh, you can mock, you can be a skeptic, you can do all that. But when it happened, don't cry because you was warned. All right, those. I'm out. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope this gave you more insight to what's going on. Those who don't understand, you could have been a child or you might not have been born when all this went down. But I'm sure your family members who know what was up, they can testify to it. Yeah, they can tell you some things they went through when they were going to these businesses in our community, how they were treated. All right, I'm out.